Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Friday, February 17, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. Manhattan versus Iona. Iona is one of the best mid-major teams in the country, and they are top team in the conference. The Gales are really strong on offense and they are even better on defense. But they have struggled against the spread this year. They are only 13-10 against the spread when they have been favorites. Manhattan has been great against the spread. They are 13-5 against the spread when they have been underdogs this season. The Jaspers are middle of the road in all categories, but their ability to hang around will benefit them greatly in this game. Take Manhattan to cover. Manhattan allows around 70 points per game this year, and that is the mark that Iona should make. But Iona has allowed 61 points or less in their last 4 straight games. The under is 4-0 in the Jaspers' last 4 road games following 3 or more consecutive home games. The under is 12-2 in the Gales' last 14 games following a straight-up win. Take the under on Friday. Dayton versus Loyola, Chicago. When they played on January 31st, Dayton won by 4 points in overtime, and that's already halfway to covering this spread. When you look at the box scores, you see some oddities. First, Loyola Chicago shot over 50% from 3, way above their season average, 34.8%, and above 80% from the free throw line. They averaged 68.4%. Without that fortuitous shooting stroke, that game would have been over way before overtime. I don't expect their luck to hold up. Additionally, the Roamers are 2-5 ATS in their last 7 home games. Excluding the aforementioned game against the Roamers, the Flyers are 3-1 ATS in their last 4 games. Dayton is also 7-2 ATS in their last 9 games following a cover, and 11-4 ATS in their last 15 against teams with sub-500 records. I think that the first game was a wake-up call, and the Flyers will take this rematch more seriously, especially as they push for the top of the A10. I think they cover -7 easily. In Dayton's last 5 road games against teams with losing records at home, the under has hit 4 times. The Flyers' defense is extremely stingy, and it makes scoring very difficult for teams that aren't great at defending home court, like Loyola Chicago, who are 7-9 at home this season. In total, the under has hit in 8 of Dayton's last 12 road games, and 6 of the Roamers' last 9 overall. The Flyers hold opposing teams to 61.2 points per game, 10th best in the nation, while Loyola Chicago only averages 67.6 points per game, ranked 246th. Even better for the under, Dayton plays at a very slow pace, ranking 339th in Pomeroy's adjusted tempo out of 363 teams, while the Roamers aren't much faster at 260th. That means fewer possessions and fewer scoring opportunities in general. Looking at recent performances and trends along with their statistical profiles, and then taking into account expected regression, results in me feeling more confident in the under this time around. Wright State versus Cleveland State. Cleveland State beat Wright State at its own game last month, increasing its tempo and outscoring the Raiders 12-2 in fast break points. Wright State likes to get up and down the court quickly and put up plenty of shots, but the Vikings attempted more field goals than the Raiders in the first meeting. Cleveland State also out-rebounded Wright State 30-22, even though Wright State leads the Horizon League in rebounding margin this season. Cleveland State took advantage of Wright State's mediocre defense and won by 8 on the road as 3.5-point underdogs. Now the Vikings get to play at home, where they've won 5 straight. Their performance at Wright State last month was convincing enough for me to back them again on Friday. The Vikings match up with the Raiders, a team they know well. I trust Cleveland State to hold Wright State under their season averages once again. I'm taking the Vikings to cover. Wright State has been impressive this season with its high point totals and up-tempo offense. The Raiders rank 16th in adjusted tempo according to Ken Palm and have an over/under split of 15-9 on the season. The Vikings, however, play at one of the nation's slower tempos. They rank number 291 in adjusted tempo. They played at Wright State speed on the Raiders' home court last month and will be confident in their ability to do it again if needed. The over has hit in 6 of Cleveland State's last 7 games, and the Vikings have topped the 80-point plateau in 2 of their last 4 games. Wright State has exceeded 80 points in 4 straight games. These teams combined for 162 points last month. I'm taking the over. Northern Kentucky versus Fort Wayne. That being said, it is the home side that I do have to reluctantly side with for this game, and it's because there is one historical aspect of Fort Wayne's season this year that does have me expecting a solid day from them offensively. Fort Wayne scored just 64 points in that loss to Robert Morris last time out, making it the 9th time this year they've failed to score at least 70 points on offense. Well, after the previous 8 times that's occurred, Fort Wayne has gone 7-1 SU in their next game, scoring at least 72 points in all of them, and hitting 80 plus 5 different times. It is a 3-4 ATS record in those 8 post-sub 70-point games for the Mastodons. One not lined, but with this spread being where it's at, where you've just got to pick the outright winner more often than not. It's Fort Wayne I'll put my trust in tonight. The history of those bounce-back performances offensively for Fort Wayne has me believing in this total landing up and over this number, as Northern Kentucky is not likely to be able to rely on their defense holding down the fort for the majority of the game. Those 2 recent road defeats for NKU saw them give up 83 and 74 points respectively, and while this young rivalry has produced nothing but under results, I think we see more points in this game as both sides should be more willing to run with one another. Our total pick is over 132.5 points. Penn Quakers versus Yale Bulldogs. Yale will squeak by with a win and cover on the road versus the Penn Quakers on Friday. Yale has covered the spread in 5 of the last 7. The Bulldogs defeated Penn 70-63 in the first meeting between the two, with the game ending in a push. Penn has failed to cover the spread in 2 of the last 3 and is 1-2 straight up over that stretch, with losses to Dartmouth and Princeton. The favorite, Yale, has covered the spread in 20 of the last 27 meetings between the 2 Ivy League rivals. Yale will use a very tough defense that is holding opponents to an average of only 61.3 points per game, which is 13th best in the country, to hold Penn in check. Yale is 13-7-1 ATS this season and on the road is 7-4 ATS. Penn is a respectable 13-9-2 ATS, but at home is only 6-5 ATS. Our team pick is Yale Bulldogs minus 2.5 points. Matt Noling is leading Yale in scoring with an average of 14.9 points per game, while Edge Jarvis is the leading rebounder with an average of 5.2 rebounds per game, and Bezmbang is the leader in assists with an average of 3.3 assists per game. Yale has 4 players averaging double figures in scoring and as a team is scoring an average of 76.0 points per game. Penn looks for its 6th consecutive victory on Friday with a win while hosting the Yale Bulldogs. The Quakers are 14-11 overall and 6-4 in Ivy League play following an 80-72 victory over the Harvard Crimson. Jordan Dingle was the leading scorer for Penn with 25 points. The Quakers shot 44.6% overall and held Harvard to 41.4% shooting. Penn is 3rd in the Ivy League, 1 game behind Yale and Princeton. Jordan Dingle is leading Penn in scoring with an average of 24.0 points per game, while Lucas Monroe is the leading rebounder with an average of 5.9 rebounds per game, and Nick Spinasso is the leader in assists with an average of 3.4 assists per game. Penn has 3 players averaging double figures in scoring and as a team is scoring an average of 74.6 points per game. Our total pick is under 144.5 points. Quinnipiac versus Siena College. Quinnipiac continues to slide as they've dropped 3 straight games. Included in the skid is a 20-point loss as the hands of a 6-18 Canisius team last time out. Yikes. Furthermore, the Bobcats have struggled against the Saints in recent history, going just 1-5 both SU and ATS in their last 6 meetings with a division foe per Odd Shark. As for this game specifically, with 2 teams so tightly contested in terms of statistics, I think we have to roll with the home team, which is also the team that's been playing better overall. Let's go with the Saints to cover the spread. Our team pick is Siena Saints minus 3 points. Neither of these offenses is very prolific this season, both ranking outside of the top 190 in offensive efficiency. Additionally, each side comes in with a shooting percentage under 45.0%, with the Bobcats at 43.0% and the Saints at 44.1%. I'm expecting this game to be a hard-fought, defensive game, and I'm going to lock in the under. From a trends perspective, the under is 6-3 in Sienna's last 9 games, per OddsShark. It's also cashed in 5 of their last 6 games at home. With 2 evenly matched teams that rely on their defense, we should be in for a defensive showdown. Our total pick is under 140 points. Air Force vs. Wyoming. Air Force has lost 3 of their last 4 games against the spread and 4 straight on the road. Wyoming has lost 3 of the last 4 against the spread as well, but they have won 2 of the last 3 ATS at home. Despite Wyoming's .500 record at home, they have been playing a bit better there recently, having won 2 of their last 3 games outright. Wyoming has won 5 of the previous 7 games against Air Force. Look for these trends to continue. Take Wyoming minus 4.5 points. Wyoming has gone over the point total in 4 of the last 6 games, and their opponent has scored 70 or more in 3 of their past 4. Air Force has gone over in 2 of their previous 3 games and scored 89 points last week. Air Force and Wyoming currently rank 355th and 303rd in pace of play respectively. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair. Look for this game to go over 134. San Jose State Spartans vs. New Mexico Lobos. San Jose State has been much better against the number this season. The Spartans are 17-8 overall ATS, while the Lobos are just .500 at 12-12. Also, guard Jalen House, their second leading scorer behind Mashburn Jr., for the Lobos, is listed as questionable for Friday's contest. The Spartans will be hungry to avenge their 20-point loss against the Lobos less than a month ago. Our team pick is San Jose State Spartans minus 1.5 points. The San Jose State Spartans have won 2 in a row and 3 out of their last 4 games. They're coming off a 9-point win at UNLV, 75-66. Junior Trey Anderson led the Spartans with 19 points in that win in Vegas. The Spartans are the 3rd best defensive rebounding team in the nation and 58th best in offensive rebounding. The New Mexico Lobos have been reeling as of late, dropping their last 4 games in a row. Their most recent loss came to Wyoming by a score of 70-56. Junior Jamal Mashburn Jr. led the Lobos with 15 points, and has now led them in scoring in 14 of their 26 games. New Mexico's offense is legit, ranking 23rd in PPG and 14th in FG%. Our total pick is under 144.5 points.